So, good evening, sirs. I'm sorry for this little delay. It's network issue. So, before we start today class, let me quickly recap our last activity. Our last activity, we were able to complete the bootstrap section. How the bootstrap can be added to our web page. So, how you can use some of the bootstrap work component. That's what we discussed in our last work class. So, but today now we are going to now return to what? To the JavaScript section. How the JavaScript can be implemented on our website. That's exactly what we want to look at today now. So first and foremost, I'll need to make another folder now available. This is our class folder on the CSS where we saw before the bootstrap. So I'm going to duplicate this particular folder to see how JavaScript can be able to work to be implemented here now. So I'm pasting this file. Now make a copy here. So then I can now show more, tap and refresh. So I can now rename this second copy for this CSS here. I will rename it to become a JavaScript here now. So that will be underscore JS. So this will be the folder we'll be using for the JavaScript session. So that is it. And that's folder I'm going to open now. So I can return to my Visual Studio Code to open the folder for this JavaScript. Say open folder. I will now return to the class folder and select the JavaScript here. So that's it now. So we want to see how the JavaScript can be added to our web pages and what we can do with this particular JavaScript again. That is it. So to start without wasting most of our times again. So when we talk about the JavaScript, these are the some of the concept we need to understand. Number one, first understand what the scripting language is. So after that again, we will now move to section that how can we implement this particular JavaScript on our web pages. From there, we'll learn about the what are the variables and operator, what are they used to do in the in a JavaScript. And after that again, we'll now look at the conditional construct and the loop construct. How are these two particular concepts implement using a JavaScript. After that, we are going to look at the use of the functions in JavaScript, especially the inbuilt function and the user-defined function. Before we look at the JavaScript object document model. That is very important because the JavaScript actually is one of the technology that used to make a website to become more interactive and dynamic. When we are creating a website and we want a site to be able to become more interactive, the JavaScript must be added to source for a site. JavaScript make the site become more intelligent. Like for example now, remember that if I create a form before and I create a form and now trying to enter the two by say 2 plus 2 on my form, the HTML page then will remain dummy simply because there was nothing like a concept they are going to be using to add the 2 plus 2 on our HTML page. That's why the HTML page become dummy. Even though with the CSS we designed to make it attractive, it's just going to look like a very beautiful lady that is dumb. That is just it. But the moment we implement the JavaScript on our web page, it become more interactive. It become more intelligent. It can become something that can do exactly what you want it to do because JavaScript can allow us to be able to perform different type of the calculation on our web page. Whether you want to carry out the calculator or simple basic operation like you want to compute the discount, you want to compute the total cost of the product, you want to compute any kind of functionality or task. With the JavaScript, that kind of complex operation or calculation can easily be carried out on JavaScript. That is it. So that's why we are going to be looking at it one after the other. Now, so now let me to to JavaScript here. When we are talking about the a script is referred to as well a block of a code that always incorporated in a web page in order to make a web page to become interactive and and dynamic. And that is it now. So and there are two types of the script that can be right. The first one is referred to as a client-side scripting, while the second is referred to as the server-side scripting. The client-side scripting, the client-side scripting, these are the type of JavaScript code that once you write it, this JavaScript code is going to be to be running on your client machine. It's going to run on your browser. And this type of JavaScript code is using to perform a simple validation on a client machine, and it always run more faster than the one on the server side. You can use a client side scripting to perform the validation. Like for example now, you don't want a test box to be empty and you want to perform some simple operation like a calculator operation, you can use a client-side scripting for that. You can also use a client-side scripting to know the discount for the product or to know the total cost for the product. That is it. But when we talk about the server-side scripting, these are the code that are used to implement the database functionality on our website. Not only that again, we also use a server-side scripting to implement email functionality on a website. And this type of the code they are the one they run on the web server. You get it now. So these are the two type of a JavaScript that were available. But the one we are going to be focusing on in our class is going to be the client side scripting. Now, another thing that we want to look at the benefit of this particular JavaScript, because JavaScript provide a lot of benefit, but the two most important one are listed there. The first one is that the JavaScript allow user to handle the event. This event handling is one of the core benefit of the JavaScript, simply because that it is this event that allow the JavaScript code to be implemented. It is this event that lead to interactivity of the JavaScript with the user. Like for example now, if you write a JavaScript code and you want that particular JavaScript to be execute, there must be a particular event that can occur for that JavaScript code to execute, because all the JavaScript code you write cannot be execute without a particular event will occur. Like for example now, you may want on click event to occur for a JavaScript code to execute. That means you have to click on a button. You may want on mouse press down event to execute before a JavaScript code to execute a code. Or you may also use for on mouse over a particular object event to occur for some task to be executed in JavaScript. Which means that whatever JavaScript code you write, there must be an event that must occur to execute, and that event is what that make it to become interactive. Another important is JavaScript can be used to gather the information about our browser. JavaScript can tell us the browser version, the browser host, that is developer, and so on. So now, when we are now talking about the JavaScript is a client-side scripting, just like I said earlier before that we'll be focusing on the client-side scripting JavaScript. And this JavaScript can be directly embedded on our web page by write the code inside the script tag. That is, if you are going to add the JavaScript to your web page, it is very simple. There are two ways we can do that. The first way is to embed the JavaScript inside our web page. but that JavaScript has to be inside the script word tag. And the second way is to write the JavaScript as an external file. That means you are going to create a text file, you write your JavaScript code there, and you now give it extension of .js. So these two ways is what we can use to add a JavaScript to work to our website. And even though when you want to put JavaScript inside our HTML code, there are some sections the JavaScript must be added to in the web page again. Like for example now, JavaScript can be put inside the head section, or JavaScript can be put inside the body section. For the JavaScript to put in the head section, that JavaScript is going to be executed in a response to an action performed by the user. The user has to perform some action on your web page for any JavaScript you put on the head to execute. And that means the interactivity between the user and the JavaScript. And that's why you say that the JavaScript make HTML page to become more interactive. Because once you write a JavaScript on the head section, if a user did not carry out a specific task, that JavaScript code cannot execute. The second one is that the JavaScript code we put in the body section. If a JavaScript code is put in the body section, it means that JavaScript code will be executed as soon as that particular page is loaded. There are sometimes I want a JavaScript code to execute when my page is loaded. I don't want to wait for a user to perform a specific task. So if there is need for that, you have to put such a JavaScript code inside the body section. So once it is there, it is going to be executed as soon as the web page is loaded. Now, whether you want to add the JavaScript to the head section or you want to add the JavaScript to the body section, this JavaScript can be embedded into our web page by using the syntax below here. And the syntax is that we have to specify the script tag here, specify the type as text/JavaScript, and write your JavaScript code there now. So let me now demonstrate how the JavaScript code can be embedded into our web page. Whether I want to add to the head section, I want to add to the body section. And at the same time again, whether you want to create the internal JavaScript or external JavaScript. So to do that again, I'm returning to my previous HTML page here now. So I will open a new page here, and let me use a client page. So I'm going to name it as client_J. I'll give it a name for home page. So I open our client page here now. I will save this client page as home page_J. Save as what? Home_JS. So this is first JavaScript. This is where I want to use to implement the JavaScript now. So let me preview this particular page first so that I see the information we have inside it. Okay, the page is still loading now. And okay, very good. So this is the exact information we have here now. That is it. So here now I'm going to change this particular content from this. So where is my picture for the okay, I'm not using this header here now. I'm going to change this one to using JavaScript. Okay, that's good. Using JavaScript. That's just this page here. So this particular one now, I want to create a JavaScript that runs as soon as the page is loaded. Remember that this is my body section. In the body section, as long as it is inside the body section, you can put your JavaScript code inside any part of your body. Since I already have some layout, I want that JavaScript code to open as soon as page is loaded, and I want it to be displayed inside this particular main content here now. And to add my JavaScript to this main content, I must start with a script tag here now. I'll say script, and then I will now say type equal text/JavaScript now. Okay, so then I can now close my script one tag. So I will close my script tag here, close script. Okay, that is it now. So here my JavaScript is going to work to be written. You get now. So now for this JavaScript to execute depend. There are two different ways we can display message on the JavaScript again. So the first one is going to be what? To be this. I want to use this information to display JavaScript message called the window dot what? Alert. Window dot what? Alert. This is one of the JavaScript what? Object that used to display the information. And I want message to be what? Hello, I am learning JavaScript. Okay, I'm learning JavaScript now. That is it. So I end this one with what? Semicolon. Now look at this page very well. The moment I save this page and review it, before the system go to display anything, this message go to pop up. So once I save this page here now and I return back here now, do you get it now? You will see that one, the message go to come up here again now. Okay, let me now refresh. Refresh here. Oh, something wrong with my JavaScript. Window dot and oh sorry, there's an error in my scripting language here. If you look at this particular type, I say type equal to and I say equal to here. So once something like this error occur in JavaScript, JavaScript might not tell you error is so thing or error so line. That's one of the challenges of this JavaScript. So let me say this particular file alone. And can you see a pop-up message come up again? Hello, I'm learning JavaScript. That's why I said that well, any JavaScript we put on the wall on the body tag, that JavaScript will execute as soon as the page is loaded. So as soon as this particular page here well, is being loaded, that is why we have seen this particular one message here. You get now? And that's how the JavaScript that run on the body tag work. So when I click on OK here now, that information disappear. You get it now? I can make some adjustment to this particular code by use slash what slash n here now. Slash n means the information should appear on two different lines. Once I save it again, you can see the message. Now you have hello, I'm learning JavaScript. Slash n means bring the information to the two different lines. So this page go to over in the next few seconds now, so that I can save it and continue again